Kevin Crumb is a man that suffers from dissociative identity disorder, and he has 23 alters that confront. Of those 23 alters, 3 that call themselves the Horde have taken over and are preparing for a new 24th alter that is supposed to have superhuman abilities like great strength based off of animals that live in the zoo where he works and lives under. The film is set in Philadelphia, where Dennis, an alter in the Horde, kidnaps 3 young girls as a sacrifice to the beast. Soon after being kidnapped, the girls realize that there are multiple personalities of this person, including Patricia and 9-year-old Hedwig, who are a part of the Horde as well. The main protagonist, Casey, eventually is able to get the host, Kevin, who fronts and dissociates and shows that he has not been in control for 2 years. The Horde ends up taking back control, and the beast kills other characters while sparing Casey's life. He evades police while Casey is saved. Dissociative identity disorder is a disorder in which a person is reported having 2 or more different personalities. This film centers around traumatic experiences and how that affects those involved. For Kevin, his trauma was in his childhood and alters formed to protect him from those things. For the protagonist, Casey, she was molested and got in trouble to be put in detention, so she could be isolated away from people. Barry is an alter that frequently attends therapy, where a therapist has diagnosed them with DID. The Horde has not fronted with therapy before, and usually it is Barry giving updates on how everyone is doing and the struggles for that week. The diagnosis of DID is most likely not used in all cultures. Western medicine focuses on the medical and treatment side of medicine, so this diagnosis might be more common, whereas Eastern medicine focuses on mind and spirit. This means that if someone were to be examined for this disorder under Eastern medicine circumstances, they might be viewed as possessed or something wrong with them spiritually instead of medically. Some stigmas about this disorder is that people with DID are very violent and disturbed, when that is not always the case. The evidence portrayed in this film is that the character displays symptoms like dissociating and having multiple, very different personalities front. Examples from the film are when Kevin fronts and is dissociating. He claims that he was on a bus and in the year 2014, when it was actually 2 years later, and some of his alters have kidnapped and killed people, and he had no recollection of this. Immediately after, he tells the main girl to kill him. He immediately goes into a rapid switch where 4 of the alters front for a few seconds, telling her not to do it. Those 4 personalities were all different genders with different accents and all had different ways of handling the situation. While one was frantic and trying to get her to not do it in a very expressive manner, the other was very calm and explained how the Horde is not a representation of the whole of the group. This shows just how much each switch can be a totally different person, and it is different from the person before it. Some symptoms of this character that they don't really show in the film is self-harm or self-destructive behavior. The only alter that ever makes these desires known is the host, who has been repressed while the Horde has kidnapped and killed people. The other alters do not share the same wants as he does, and they want to live, and they make this known by expressing this to Casey after he makes his wishes known. A proposed treatment plan can be to lock this character in a psych ward with heavy guarding, seeing as the beast alter has abilities like being strong enough to bend steel. When this is accomplished, hypnosis can be used to fuse the alters together. Ethical concerns can be that holding this person in such a guarded facility and getting rid of these personalities can seem cruel. Even though several of the personalities are highly dangerous, there are many others that are normal and like regular people. Some situational barriers can be that the troublesome group, the Horde, would make this transition very difficult. By not letting others front or hindering hypnosis from being done, they can inhibit this treatment from taking place. This movie over-exaggerates the qualities that are assumed to be accompanied by DID. While there are several violent cases, most people with DID do not have violent personalities, and they only have different likes and dislikes. This film takes the violent stigmas and centers on it, and it portrays cannibalism and even emotionless murder. This can make society's views of DID even more fearful and make people with the disorder seem like they have a murderous capability when that is in majority not the case.